Millions need odd hours of work today. There's demand for those hours. But the problem is the markets in which you buy and sell them aren't very good, and the British government set out to do something about that. So some background. There are thousands of websites for trading odd hours of gardening, care for older people, odd hours of bar work, filling in at call centres, dog walking. Typically, they will revolve around the listings model. So the buyer writes an advert saying, this is what I'm looking for, and sellers respond. Many of the sites have fixed rates that the seller must charge. Some of them allow the buyer to specify they'll take the cheapest seller. Most of them want to know a rough idea of when you will be available to take bookings as a worker, and they usually ask you to specify the geography of where you will do bookings. And we thought all this was just a bit haphazard because I might live on the borders of Glendale and Hollywood. I might be available this Tuesday morning. I don't know about next Tuesday morning. I might want to do all sorts of work but progress to better and better bookings as my reliability becomes clear. We set out to make markets for odd hours of regular work as efficient as markets for other sectors of the economy are in the 21st century. And that led us to the concept that we call CEDA, Central Database of Available Hours. And a CEDA can sit within anyone else's website. So recruitment agencies can access it, existing web marketplaces like the ones we've just flashed through, or public sector employment bodies. Crucially, when I go to say I want to work through a CEDA, it needs to know three things about me. What roles, what types of work will I do? And if I specify or accept anything that is sensitive, childcare for instance, it will make sure that the intermediary has vetted me and checked I have that certification. Second thing the CEDA needs to know is the terms on which you'll do bookings. So it needs a basic hourly rate and it won't allow you to set that below the minimum wage band for your particular age at the time of the booking. Then it needs to know, well, how far are you willing to travel from home, and would you travel further if you got more money on each booking to compensate you for the tickets you'll have to buy? What's your your minimum length of booking? Perhaps you'll only do a booking that's 8 hours long. Perhaps you'll do a booking that's less than an hour, but you need more money to make it worth your while for those bookings. What period of notice do you need? How much notice do you need before a booking starts? Some people need a day. You might be willing to just drop everything and do a booking, but only if you get more money for it. It's always up to you in a CEDA, and you can, of course, price by day of the week. So any hours that I'm available on a Sunday that are bought, I'll only work for an extra £1.50 an hour because I don't really want to work on Sundays, but I will if the money's right. Then the third thing, the final key detail that the CEDA needs to know about me before I can start working is when am I wanting to work, and that can be for today, for tomorrow, for weeks ahead, and I can have a regular pattern of hours. Oops, I'm accidentally clicking there, and I can change them by the week. So these are the hours I'm available this week. It's now 11 o'clock on Sunday, and I've just changed my mind. So I'm available for the rest of today until 7:30 tonight. I'm no longer available Tuesday morning. I've changed my mind about Monday. I'm only available for from 7:30 till 10 o'clock. So you can see that the CEDA is now storing the hours I want to work and all sorts of information about those hours, and it can be doing the same, of course, for hundreds of thousands of people locally. Because it's got that level of granularity about each hour, it can impose all sorts of legal controls, making sure that the bookings are completely compliant, and it can report out on patterns of supply, demand, pricing, and so on. And all this takes the market for the buyer very close to the kind of efficiencies and convenience that we take for granted elsewhere now. To understand how it works for the buyer, you need to watch the second part of this little demo video.